Hey guys, welcome back to Paper Made Me Do It. It's time to plan another week. This is going to be a weekly planning spread in my Hobonichi Weeks. So if you haven't yet planned out your week, please feel free to go grab your planner and join me. I'm going to try to do this in real time today instead of doing a voiceover later. And we will see how that goes. I'm just starting in with my green Hobonichi stencil. This is one of the smaller standard stencils to mark off a little dotted line here. And I'm switching it up just a tad. And I'm gonna put my weather and meals on the far left side of the spread this week and just see how I like that. I normally block off the third column, but sometimes my writing has to double back, and I'm just curious if I like it better on the left side or not. So we shall see. But I've done the dotted line before, and I do like the way it looks. And if you've watched any of my previous plan with me's, I've switched up my pens a time or two, but this week I'm back to my all-time favorite, which is just the Hobonichi Techo pen that comes with the planner if you order directly from Hobonichi. It's a multi-pen that's filled with, I believe it's Uni Jetstream refills. So we'll go in with the weather for this week first. I always do the high temp and the low temp, and then a little hand-drawn doodle of the icon for the day. And this is the projected weather for the week. I use my free weather app on my iPhone to get this information every Monday morning. It's so close to Christmas. 1 week away. So lots to do this week related to the Christmas season. I've made my notes off to the side, and my to-do list for this week is considerably longer than it has been in recent weeks, just to be expected. No snow in our forecast. I live in the south of the U.S., so for those of you who are going to have a white Christmas this year, a little jelly there. We usually get snow every 2 to 3 years, and when we do, even if it's just a few inches, it pretty much shuts down our entire state. We are just not used to functioning in the snow. And for those of you who decided not to start your 2020 Hobonichi Weeks early and decided to finish out your current book and wait until the new year to start your new book, you're getting mighty close. Because I love this week so much. It's so beautiful. I've set a goal for myself this year to complete this one in its entirety. So we'll see if I'm successful at the end of the year in finishing this one out. I hope I can be. So now I'm going to go in the bottom section of each of these boxes and add the meals that I plan to cook for the week. And I'm not writing in all of the side dishes and things like that, but just the main entree. So I'll know ahead, particularly for the meat, if there's something I need to set out to defrost, things of that nature. And we'll just have leftovers on Saturday. The kids won't even be here that night. They have an event going on. And on Sundays, we always dine out together as a family after church. So, where's my little stencil? What I'll do after this video, since I'm in real time here, I'm not going to do it right now because it would take quite a while and I don't want y'all to have to just sit there and watch me stencil. But I'm going to do the same thing that I did last week. So here's a glimpse at what a completed week looks like for me sometimes. I started last week using the little squares on the green stencil to mark in 8 blocks between the weather and the meals, and this was to represent water intake and hydration. And you can see I had some days where I didn't come near meeting that goal. I actually only met it fully one day last week. So when I get done with this video, I will go back because I liked having that visual reminder. I will go back and put those 8 little squares in here with the stencil. So we'll move on from that for now. I had a hair appointment this morning. I've already attended, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark through that. Got a few specific things to do today for work and personal. One of these I already did. Don't you just love being able to mark something off? So satisfying. Another thing to mark off. Okay. Now this is bold week for Camp Gladiator, so not as many classes to mark in. I'm just gonna go to a few, hopefully. So I'm putting in the times and locations because they will be different than the normal camp cycle schedule. I've got this is a new location that I've never been to before. I'd like to try on Wednesday morning. And Thursday is a location I've been to before, but it's been quite some time. And I know I like that class, so I'm looking forward to that one on Thursday. Now I'm gonna kind of block those squares to the left and leave a little room here between the weather icons because Friday of this week is a payday. So I'm just gonna put in the little symbol I use for that, which is a $sign with a circle around it. And Wednesday, hallelujah, amen. It's the last day of school for this week. I think I'm always just as excited, if not more excited, than my kids for that. And then Christmas break starts for us on Thursday. Woohoo! Okay, let's see, and my kids have a youth Christmas party Saturday night. I'm not sure yet of the time, so I'll have to go back and add that. I also have an appointment, and what I always do before I start my weekly plan is look back at my monthly calendar first. And so December this week. I had already made an appointment Saturday morning for a pedicure. And then Sunday, church at 9:30. Okay, now this week on the right side of the page, instead of doing separate sections for to do and to buy, a lot of my to buy stuff is related to a to do task in my mind. So I'm just going to do a huge individual section that's to do. And let's see here if I can carry out what I have in my mind. I'm going to use the pencil board here. I'm definitely not the best stamper in the world, but I'm going to attempt to use this Hobonichi stamp that looks like the little hobo cover in the corner, and then draw a box kind of coming out of it. So let's try this Versamagic ink. This is called Red Magic. Ink this puppy up. It's hard to see how much red ink is actually getting onto that rubber stamp because the stamp is orange and not a contrasting color. But let's see here. We just stamp off. Okay, that looks good. So fingers crossed. I'm just gonna press it down. Yay! Turned out pretty good. I have a couple, or an idea to use it a couple more times down below, so I don't know if I should press my luck or not. Let's go inside, since this turned out so cute and right to do inside the little Hobonichi cover. Okay, and then my intent was to come down almost the whole page. So let's go to about here, and I'm just going to kind of do a kind of a messy line. And you'll see why in just a second. Go ahead and go across. And across here. So kind of what I had envisioned was to do kind of a modified version of the messy wreath spread that I did in my Thanksgiving Hobonichi cousin spread. And so in wreath form, you just do several messy circles on top of each other, and it kind of makes it look like a wreath. So just kind of doing a modified version of that here. And then I thought it might be cute to just hand draw in some little, what are these called? Holly leaves and berries. And I want my planning to be functional more than anything, so if you're not into decorating, you could completely skip this step. But I thought, you know, here at the Christmas season, it would be fun to do some light decorating. So Let's just do 2 more on the bottom and then we'll call that enough. Okay, so there's our little to-do box. And oh my goodness, like the biggest to-do on my list for this week. So I'm gonna kind of bold the letters here, is to finish my Christmas shopping. I've definitely started, but I'm unfortunately nowhere near being completely finished. I don't know why I do that to myself every year. I always have the best intentions. And every year I end up being down to the wire. Okay, I have to pick up a package at our local post office. I also want to take a gift basket to our postal workers because they definitely work hard for my family every year. We do the majority of our shopping online now for almost everything. I mean, it's just so easy. So they're constantly delivering packages and gifts for us. I have to deliver a gift to my hairdresser either later today or tomorrow morning. It's actually supposed to arrive today, and that's why I need to go to the post office. I need to drop off and pick up at our dry cleaners. I have a Goodwill donation to make. Now that we're below this stamp icon, I'm going to back it out a little and give myself a little more room to write on the rest of this list. So let's go all the way over here. I have some jeans to return to Old Navy that I had bought for my youngest son. I wasn't sure what size he would be because he's a little beanpole. So I bought 2 sizes and I need to return the larger size. That was actually on my list of things to do last week and I didn't make it there. So as things get done, I mark them off with an X, and if anything doesn't get done, I use the little Bujo symbol that looks like the arrow to migrate it to the next week. The other thing that I intended to do last week and I'm migrating is make a password list in the memo section of this book for like logins and passwords for different websites. And I don't write out the actual passwords, but I only have like a couple different passwords that I tend to use for everything. So I just write out kind of a code of what that password is, and I know what it means. So if my planner was lost, God forbid, I don't think a stranger could figure out what my passwords are. I need to do our Christmas card address list because the cards that I ordered should be arriving hopefully today or tomorrow. Okay, and I think that's all I had starting out, but I know this is going to grow because my mind is just all over the place and I know there's going to be a lot to do this week. So down here, I thought about using that hobo stamp again instead of doing, let me go ahead and do red one more time since I already have red on the stamp. Instead of doing a big habit tracker, there's just 2 reminders I want to give myself for this week. One being to do my December daily project, and the other one is my grocery list. Just documenting the page. in the back of the memo section. Oh, it turned out good again. So these little stamps work well. It's kind of awkward. I'm used to flat stamps and this is so tall, but it's working pretty good. I haven't used it very much in the past. I bought it years ago, so it needs to be used. But my grocery list for this week, now we're gonna go in with Hint of Pesto, which is a green. I'm going to use the same memo page that I used for my grocery list last week because my list actually only took up less than half of the page. So I don't actually need a full memo list this week for my grocery list. So let's hope the green one turns out just as cute. Do it. All right. I like the way those turned out. So, what did I say? December daily. Let's abbreviate here. DEC daily. Put a little star, and then here I'm going to abbreviate GROC for grocery. Grocery list page, and it's page 8 in the memo section in the back of the book. Okay, and then I'm gonna lay down some washi at the very bottom, but in this section, I found a quote on Google about Christmas. And it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's write that out. I was gonna use a fountain pen, but I think I'm just gonna stick with my Hobonichi pen so I don't run out of room, because this has a much finer tip. So we're gonna say Christmas, and I'm just using my little go-to messy block letters here. Is not as much. About opening our presents. And I'm just going to do presents in all caps, but not the little block letters. As opening our hearts, and we'll do hearts in the block letters for emphasis. And then this was like on a Google image. It wasn't credited to anyone for the quote, so I don't have a name to put underneath it. Let's just put a little heart underneath it. And then the washi that I chose to add this week has some gold foil on it that I thought would be kind of festive for the holiday season. And I'm not going to rip it in half. I do love the look of that sometimes, but it's about the perfect size to fill this whole space, so I'm just going to leave it a solid piece this week and lay it down on both sides. And then I have one more idea to cover up this corner, and we'll have the foundation for the week done. Now the key is just going to be to not get distracted and actually do the things that need to be done. because I am a procrastinator by nature. And I'm running out of time. Okay. This is some MT washi that looks like wax seals. I love using this in my traveler's notebooks. And I thought the green would complement this spread. So I'm just gonna take my tiny little fussy cutting scissors are on my nightstand because I was cutting out some printables last night. So I'm going to take the next larger set here and just cut this out. So it looks kind of like an actual wax seal. If y'all are wax seal fans, and if you have some that you use that you really like, please let me know in the comments below where you buy yours. I only have one right now and it has my initial on it and I really like it, but I would love to order another one or two that has more of a generic symbol instead of a letter. I'm not quite sure where to buy them. Okay, if you've made it this far, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for planning with me. This is what the start of this week looks like, and I'll give you a close-up before I end the video. Have a great week and a happy Christmas season. Bye guys.